There's a feeling that shows up for a lot of people, not loudly, not dramatically. It usually appears when things slow down late at night, in quiet moments, when there's nothing demanding your attention. And when it does, most people assume it's random, but it isn't. This isn't about fixing that feeling. It's about understanding why it keeps coming back. Most things that matter don't arrive suddenly. They build quietly. That's why this feeling confuses people. It doesn't come with a clear cause. There's no obvious trigger. But if you pay attention, it always shows up under the same conditions. When distractions fade, when momentum stops, when there's space to notice. That's why people feel it on weekends, on holidays, or in the moments right before sleep. It's not random. It appears when there's nothing left to drown it out. Most people don't avoid this feeling on purpose. They stay busy. They stay productive. They stay engaged. And that works for a while, until something forces a pause. A quiet room, a long drive, a moment with no noise. And suddenly it's there. Not as a clear thought, more like a weight, or a tension, or the sense that something isn't sitting right. People often call this boredom, or tiredness. But it isn't. It's awareness catching up.
This is the part most people miss. Nothing about this feeling feels urgent. Nothing about it demands immediate action. So it gets postponed, not ignored aggressively, just delayed. One day turns into a week into a month into a year. And during that time, something subtle happens. You adjust. You learn how to live around the discomfort instead of addressing it. That's why it doesn't feel like a problem anymore. It feels normal. Normalization is dangerous because it doesn't feel harmful. It feels practical. You tell yourself this is just how life is, that everyone feels this way, that you'll deal with it later. And maybe you meant to change at some point. Most people do. They really mean it. But days pass, then weeks, then nothing changes. Not because you failed, but because you adapted. And once something becomes familiar, it stops setting off alarms, even when it should.
Here's the part that matters. What gets normalized doesn't disappear. It shapes you. It influences how present you feel, how much energy you have, how connected you are to your own life. Over time, the discomfort dulls.
but so does clarity. And eventually people stop noticing the feeling entirely, not because it's gone, but because they've learned how to live with it. That's the cost. Most people didn't ignore this on purpose. They meant to change, they really did. But intention fades quietly when life keeps moving. And without interruption, patterns stay intact. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. The problem isn't failure, it's absorption. Awareness doesn't fix anything by itself, but it does one important thing. It stops you from calling something random when it isn't. That feeling didn't come out of nowhere. And the moment you can name it without rushing to fix it is usually the moment it starts to matter.